Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation.
My bad. I got to get used to this thing being on the other side. Anyway, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. My bad. I accidentally started over the song. Oh, well. All right, man. Let me introduce the crew. Here we go. We got Quan checking his hair, making sure the line's straight. And we got Portia. What up? What up? All right, man. So a couple of things first before we get into today's topic. You know how we do it all the time. We talk about, what happened in your day and going on in the band world and the music world. So without further ado, Quan, what you got going on with us, bro?
Talk to you early. Wait, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I unmuted you.
Turn the music down. The music loud.
It's loud on your end. It's not loud on my end.
Anyway,
I'll do this for you. Here you go. There you go.
Thank
you.
There
you go.
It was a good day. My students that we went to UIL competition today for the first time in over 10 years, and we received straight twos, excellent band rating, and concert and sight reading. Yeah.
You could have just kept talking. You've been out.
Oh, nah, kids did well. I'm super proud, man. I think we do this for the purpose of growth, not just ratings. But for our first time going, I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. They understood the assignment, and it's only up from here.
All right, cool. And honestly, well, I'll get into that just a little bit more. But until then, what you got going on?
We're having band practice again. Yay. We have almost 500 kids gonna be here for a day in Sparta. So we're trying to get it together. Y'all pray for us. You pray for Sean. It's 137 percussionists showing up here. It's a thing. It's a thing. So it's gonna be crazy to see the block with those almost 500 students plus the Legion. But here we go. So I'm just getting back from band practice.
Yay, congratulations. You're back on band practice time. I do have a question. As an older guy, I don't know, what is a day in Sparta? What is that?
So it's like a day camp. They send out music. The dancers get a feature. Us and the guards are going to do a feature from the season. They'll learn some spirit songs, and we'll do a performance at the end.
Gotcha. So it's like the spring camp that we used to have a long time ago. It's just one day instead.
It's just one day, a day in Sparta. Yep. And you learn the way of the Legion, and it's a little performance at the end. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's cool. It's only for one day, but
you get a t-shirt,
Yeah, you get to feel good about yourself. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think I've ever seen that many people in MD. Even when we used to do the spring camp, we used to make cuts, so you still didn't get a chance to play with everybody. So that's gonna be different. I'm gonna be watching for that. And speaking of which, Jackson State just had the day with the Boom, and they had a heck of a turnout. I think Quan, you were the one who showed me the picture, right? And then I once I got home, I went back and looked at it and checked out some videos. I mean, the first thing I was looking at was the drum major. So, hey man, I'm in my former life I was J5, man. I'm hoping one of these days they see this show and they be like, man, we're gonna let them come out and march with us, man. I'm gonna get out there with all my jelly, and I'll do it. I'll be practicing around the house. I go up the stairs and I'll be hitting it. So hey, I'm ready. I don't know all the 8 counts, but I know funky 3. I can tell you that. All right. But yeah, so they had a day with the boom, man. So I thought that was a heck of a turnout. And then the other thing, Quan was talking about his ratings with his kiddos, man, and we conversed today, and I was very, very happy for him. But the other thing about that was the fact that I was able to call in. He called me. I think it was right before we went to the consortium, and I was able to listen to his kiddos, give them some help and support, and as much information as I could give over the phone. There's only so much you can do, but I was super proud and excited for him and his kiddos, man, and everybody, man. I'm seeing so many things pop up on my screen from adjudication. A lot of people are getting excellent ratings and superior ratings. Shout out to James Gibson at Townview. They just had superior ratings. Sweepstakes, as a matter of fact. So shout out to him. And like I said, just shout out to everybody. And there's a lot of other stuff happening too, man. Shout out to Iron Rochelle. If y'all don't remember, he was on the show not too long ago, but he now is my frat brother of Kappa Psi. So shout out to him. It's definitely deserving. Man, he's definitely a good brother.
That's the one that called me spicy.
Yeah, that's him. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. If somebody in the chat can help me out with that, I do not know. But I do know that he was made a brother, and I, like I said, I definitely feel like he deserved it.
Larry
Allen
too. Larry Allen.
Yeah.
Rowena
for Tau Beta Sigma. Yeah. So yeah, man, it's just been a lot of stuff going on, man. If y'all remember that show March, that PV did, the young brother who played trombone. Remember, so the funny thing about it was, the funny thing about that show with him was, like, in the show, and I don't know if that was something that they were making up for the show or he was actually feeling that way, but he was kind of like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna keep marching for the next year. He turned out to be KK Psi, and then this year he crossed Alpha. So big shout out to him as well. It's just a lot of people crossing, man. It's crossing season. I had we'll talk about that in a second, but definitely shout out to everybody who has crossed those sands into something new. Hey, the slogan, man. The real work begins now. So get to work. That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right. Consortium or consortium. How do you say that? Consortium or consortium? How is it?
I say consortium, but that don't mean that's right. Maybe we need to ask Google. I don't know,
because I know when Dr. Sanford says that, he always says consortium. He hits every syllable. So I don't know how to say it correctly. Somebody Google it and then hit the play button and then let them tell you how it's supposed to be said. But this past weekend, definitely a great time. I would say more Saturday night. We had a great time, as a matter of fact. Met some good people, had some good conversations, ate some subpar chicken. Them quesadillas was all right though. The one with the onions in it.
Yeah,
those are all right. Yeah, those were cool. Piss poor DJ that kept getting on Quan's nerves. But But most of all, man, we just had a really good time. A lot of great fellowship. Shout out to Sean, Sean Zachary, and everything that happened with the HBCU dance. What's it called? Dance. I want to make sure I say it right. The dance convention. I think I said that right. But shout out to her and all of the ladies and the dancers that helped to put that on. It was a super dope event. One of the first things that we got to witness was the Rap Snacks event, where Designed to Dance from Houston was there, and those babies showed out. I thought they did an amazing job, but I actually went inside of the room for the presentation that they were doing, and Clark Atlanta was in there, and they were doing a lot of things with Rap Snacks as well. So shout out to Clark Atlanta, shout out to the Clark Atlanta band program, because they were really heavily featured in a lot of things that they were doing. So shout out to them. So that was the first day that we got there. The second day when we got there, obviously for those of you all who were able to watch live, we went live on the show during the panel discussion. It was super great. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was thinking that some of the big name directors that were in the room were going to walk out, and they did not. And that warmed my heart. That made me feel really good. But no, we had a really, really good show. For those of you guys who watched live, I appreciate you guys. For those of you all who went back and watched on playback, I appreciate you as well. A lot of things happened from a technical standpoint that I did not want to happen, but we still were able to get things going. Originally, I had a 3-camera setup plan. That didn't happen the way I wanted it to. Originally, I had a 3-microphone setup plan. That didn't happen the way I wanted it to, but we still made it work, man. So shout out to everybody who was in the room. Shout out to all of you guys who participated and watched live. So Quan, let me ask you this. What were your thoughts about the consort? Let me say how Crystal put it. Consortium. Okay, so what were your thoughts, Quan, about your experience with consortium?
I think it was good for my first experience. I think we have a lot of potential for consortium. And I'm just looking forward for it to continue progressing, getting better and better. I'm looking forward to bringing Talk That Talk back to it, as well as adding our expertise to it, to enhancing it.
Awesome. All right. And Portia, what are your thoughts on consortium?
It was super dope. I definitely had some experiences when people were, saying to us that they watched the show, they liked the show, they get stuff from the show. That was super dope. And we got to hang out, and that's always a good time. I was struggling Sunday, but we had a time.
That Sunday was a struggle, and see, and y'all got lucky because y'all flew back. Yeah, I drove.
Yes, Lord.
That
and we ate good.
Not easy.
And we ate good after y'all left. Oh my God.
So you just gonna rub that in, right? Because Quan sent me the picture. He ain't had to send me the picture. If I had not seen that picture, I would have never known. But see, instead, you want to just go ahead and rub it in. You just wanted to do me like that, dog. That was cold, bro. That was cold. You ain't had to do it.
I just wanted you to know next time, just fly back. That's all.
So after that drive that we had, I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't gonna be no more driving. That will not happen. Not again. No. Heck no. Now, to be honest, the drive up was okay, but that drive back after Saturday, nah, bruh, we ain't doing that no more. But no, the experience was super dope, and yes, you are absolutely right, Portia. It was amazing for me to be able to see so many people who were like, yeah, we watched the show and blah, 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 blah. And, we be in there, we be watching. We don't say nothing, but we be watching though. And I be like, hey, man, you got to say something. And while I'm on that, man, hey, listen, we don't, well, I may bite, but it just depends who you are. But we don't bite. Well, my wife, but we don't bite, man. We are not those kind of people. So man, don't ever feel like you can't or you don't have the availability to call in or to be able to speak inside of the chat, man. We'll always give you that room to be able to do so, because that's what this is for you to be able to have those discussions and be able to communicate with us and be able to converse with everybody inside of the room. So don't be afraid to have those conversations, man, at all. But like I said, it was super dope to be able to see those people come out and just have a really good time and have a good time with us in that moment. I think one of the things that we need to do and we need to set up, guys, for next time is that we need to have like a meet and greet, one of those kind of things to set up, because, well, yes, we need to have one of those, but I also realized too that a lot of the people who were saying they watch us were the students too, so we got to figure out a way around that. But yeah, so we'll figure that out. But no, it was definitely a great time. I do want to quickly do this. I do want to give a shout out to Dr. Phillips, Mr. Melvin Miles, Mr. Anthony Jones, and Mr. William May, for their comments that they gave us inside of the room. I know that we couldn't put a lot of people on the camera like we wanted to, but those people had some things to say. And also Mr. Antoine Smith, he definitely has some things to say as well. So I want to give a shout out to every single one of those who had comments, feedback, and thoughts about everything that we did live. All right, man, I have nothing else. We can go ahead and move on to the topics. See this, I can't stand when this happens. So this is not the first time this happened. I wrote down the topics. It was in here. They're not there no more. So anyway, I'm gonna try to remember them as we go. All right, here we go. So welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy right now. Please don't wait on it. Go ahead and do it right now. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passion News Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you type in Real Talk That Talk. All right, here's the first question of the day. Let's get it started. How do students benefit from attending conferences such as the HBCU National Band Directors Consortium? How do students benefit from attending conferences such as the HBCU National Band Directors Consortium? Quan, you got it first, and obviously Portia right after that.
Well, I know, like I said, with the extenuating circumstance, many students were not able to attend our session. But I think in the future, they're going to hear, like we say, the real, true, uncut of what music education is in real life. Everybody is not privileged to have that ideal school. And attending UIL today, like the real state adjudication process, like we talked on the phone, that's for ideal bands. Meaning, well, I'm sorry, I talked to another band director today, and the thing about it is there's a process of non-varsity and then varsity. You have to have a certain rating in the non-varsity sector to transition to the varsity sector. Well, one would assume that if you have a superior rating in the non-varsity sector, you're automatically going to continue your numbers and instrumentation to build that up to receive to the varsity. That's not always true in our circumstances. There are certain situations that we endeavor through in urban areas that other people don't know. And so I think giving them a realistic depiction of what music education is in urban settings, because many of us, that's the first opportunities that we have. So I think at the end of the day, telling them the real, true, and uncut aspect of what it takes to be a band director, and like I stated on the show, it's more than just being an arranger and being popular. I said it.
So I will tell you this: that comment that you gave struck a chord with Crystal. She made sure that she not only remembered it, but she reposted it and reshared it. So it's making its rounds right now. I can tell that. All right, Portia, how do students benefit from attending conferences such as the HBCU National Band Directors Consortium? You know what I mean?
I think it's an opportunity to interact and spend time with your peers in a different way. I know sometimes, and I can't speak for any other schools, but during rival football games or whatever, if there's a band across from us and they're KK side, TBS, 5 off for SAI, they'll come and they'll mix and they'll mingle. And when we were in a band, they would have, some interaction. But when you're in battle mode, football game mode, it's just different. But when you're sitting down to learn, with these people, to prepare for concerts with these people, it's a little bit different. And it also allows you to maybe learn something from somebody that's your peer. It also gets you in a space where you know how you stack up against your comfort zone, the university you go to. But that's an opportunity for you to see where you fall outside of that. And I think that's growth potential in that, and seeing how you stack up against people outside of your own comfort zone. So I think there's lots of learning and also connections, because when you leave these universities, your connections matter. So in building those relationships and coming together in these joint bands with people outside of who you already know, I think is building things that they wouldn't get if they stayed, just at their university. So I think there's some growth opportunity as well as connections.
Portia, I think you hit it on the head, but also I would like to add, talk to them band directors. Like I it was a blessing to meet Mr. Miles. Is it Dr. Miles? It's Dr. Miles. Yeah, like Dr. Miles, like for his encouraging words to myself and the panel, like that's dope. But imagine like those directors that you've been seeing for years that maybe want to have a conversation with about arranging systems for their band program, so forth and so on. That's the place to do it. Like you should walk away with something that makes you a better band director, because those ladies and gentlemen, they've done it at a high level for so many years. So if nothing else, yeah, sometimes we feel so comfortable with our band directors and our sponsors and whatnot. Go pick the brains of the other people. That gives you opportunity for that.
So why do you think that we don't promote this as much? So, I mean, because think about it, you don't hear a lot of HBCUs talking about going to it, but you hear a lot of people talking about going to Midwest, and you hear, at least in the Texas area, you hear a lot of people talking about going to TMEA. And I know that when the consortium was, established, I was good in at Norfolk. So I had to hear about it because Dr. Sanford was the guy over it. But you don't really hear those conversations too often. So why do you think it's not promoted as much?
Is that me? Because Quan is missing.
Yeah, Quan decided to snap.
I can't answer that. I'm thinking that people may not know what it's about completely, or people don't want to step out there and see how they stack up, or people, to Crystal's point, I don't want to be in the same room with these people. You're my rival, but I don't know why we can't. Iron sharpens iron. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we beefing all the time. Like, I don't even understand that because outside that uniform, I'm Portia. So that's a little weird. I do think it could be I don't know what the marketing strategy is, but I think it could be pushed more too. Put out there a little bit more, but I don't know. I can't answer that. I think it's a growth opportunity in most things. So even if you walk away knowing one thing that you didn't know before or gain one connection that you didn't have before, to me, it's worth it. But I mean, if I'm being honest, I think sometimes we have a problem supporting our own people. But
So I'm gonna I'm gonna go back to what Quan said, because Quan made it very, very evident that when he went there, he was gonna meet people, and he did just that. And so now going back to your point, Portia, and I kept telling you guys, as you know, while we were there, when I attended as a student, it was go audition, practice, perform, leave. And I'm going to tell you, and now that was the earlier times of its existence, but I can tell you that there really wasn't much time for like meeting directors, at least during my time. I can't talk about what these young people have now. I just remember that was kind of the thought process: go audition, rehearse, perform, leave. There were moments of fellowship as far as like from student to student. So during my time, I think there was like a step show that had happened, or a stroll off, or something to that degree, between KK Psi and Tau Beta Sigma. I think it was like 1 year they did like a little mixer, maybe 1 or 2 years. But for the most part, I don't remember having the availability to always be able to pick the brain of directors and so on and so forth. So, and like I said, I just that was my experience. So I don't know if that's what's happening. So yeah. But Quan, why do you think this isn't a thing that we discuss through the HBCU sector a lot more than what we do?
I'm trying not to cause confusion again. But I'm gonna just
Unfiltered,
say
unscripted,
it. All right,
uncomfortable.
you said it.
Conversations
I
about
feel
band, HBCU band culture. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like it's ego. The reason why I say that is because you got to work. Like, to build something of this magnitude, you have to put in work, and you can't have ego. Like I said earlier, I think to have a consortium that's for us and by us, like, you're gonna have to put your ego to the side. Like, I see so much potential, like, for this, and not saying that they have not done it. Again, this is my first experience, so I don't want to come across like, well, they should be doing this, and no, nothing like that, because I wouldn't even mind helping with the planning committee as well. But from what I've seen, like, we spoke about meet and greets. I do believe that they should have an aspect of how to rehearse. We talk about arrangements a lot, right? All of the great arrangers in HBCU world should give a clinic on it. How to raise funds, that's something big that we deal with. There's so much as things that we could tap into. How to build curriculums, how to not, ways to not get burned out within a year. Like Dr. Miles basically said, that it comes a point where you have to put aside marching band and focus on concert band, and you know and as well as, I think it should be a portion of learning the history of HBCU band at that event by the people that made the history, to have a sense of closeness, because we have to remember, we're of African descent. The ancestors matter. So we don't need to wait until these greats are in the ground to then lament their passing, give them their flowers now, and then learn their history. It's just so much, but in my opinion, it's easy to go to a Midwest and then complain about, well, they ain't got no space for us, but you have one. I know Dr. Sanford, he challenged me and Justin when we were there, because if you go into the Midwest Medal of Honor, it's only like 3 or 4 blacks in it. Dr. William P. Foster is one of them, and there's only a few others. Dr. Marcellus, and there's like 2 other ones. That's it. But you have an event strictly for you, but you're not there. In my opinion, that's ego.
As you were talking, something came to mind. Do you think these young guys and young kids even respect the older band directors and their legacy? Like, is that even a thing at this point? Like, do they even know who they are?
I don't know. That depends on that person. That depends on the individual. But I think, and I'm gonna use Crystal's term, we're having so many phallus competitions online, to where like you just sometimes gotta sit down and be quiet. Like with Dr. Sanford, when he came on the show and spoke about the history of what's going on, I think that's some of the issue. Like, we focus honestly on the wrong thing. And even Dr. Phillips said in our session, he was like, he's afraid that in the next 20 to 50 years, our profession may be extinct. That's because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm looking at the comments, people talking about, no, that's a problem. I just think, honestly, as a people, we just got to do better, bro. It's easy to go to a TMEA that's been well established since 1920, whatever it is, and it's running. But it's okay it should be okay for us to build something that is our own, that we can relate to, like you said, that has a step show, that has historical Black colleges and things. And I don't know if they have a Hall of Fame. I don't know, but if they don't, well, we need to make one. These are the things, honestly, in my opinion, that matter. Again, speaking about the things that matter to us and really what we go through, the raw, uncut, unfiltered things that it takes to build a middle school program, secondary, and then the college level, to give them the raw and uncut truth. Because honestly, if you give it to them like that, then maybe they can make a decision. Well, you know what? Maybe being a band director is not for me. Maybe I can be that volunteer helper, so forth and so on. So I don't know, bro.
All right, man. Great start. So let's keep it going. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Go ahead and tap that like button while you're sitting right there, or you can go ahead and give it a thumbs down. It's whatever. Just go ahead and help that YouTube algorithm. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passioneers Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. One thing that's on my mind before we even get to the next topic, one thing we should have did that we didn't do, take a Passioneers picture. The only one that we took was us and Sean. We should have got Chuck in there and Crystal. And I got to meet Chuck and Crystal for the first time face to face. Man, that felt so good. Because we've only seen each other through video camera.
And Chuck wife, shout out.
Yes. Chuck's wife, super dope. So yeah, we should have did that. All right. Anyway, let's move forward. Whoa, gotta go back to it. Okay, here we go. Our Black directors from PWIs welcome at the HBCU band directors table. I'll say it one more again. Our Black directors from PWIs welcome at the HBCU band directors table. Portia, go ahead.
Don't act like you froze. You blinking.
No, why is this a question?
Good. It's true.
It's a true question. Because, well, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh God, Simon. Yes, they our peoples. And they working with our students at those institutions. So why wouldn't we welcome them? It's a learning opportunity. It's a growth opportunity for everybody. Maybe we can learn something from them, and they can teach. Teach. It's a vice versa. I mean, I don't understand, Lord. That's why I'm stuttering. I don't even know if it's stutter, but I'm confused. Yes. PWIs. They look like us. They directing these students that look like us at these PWIs. I don't understand.
Maybe okay. So is it that you don't understand the question, or you just don't understand why this would be a question?
I don't understand why this would be a question.
Okay.
I do. Maybe I have a different point of view or perspective.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because I think Portia, was that your period?
Yeah, I'm done.
Was that the end of your sentence?
I don't even want to talk about this. I don't even want to talk about this.
That's what I am.
Quan, all right, our black directors for PWIs, welcome at the HBCU band directors table.
They are, but I'm gonna give you it's like I'm the new Rick, yo. Like this, like real talk. I'm about to say it. They are, because they deserve to, because they've earned the right to, right? But I'm gonna say this. Me and Julian talked about this, and I'm gonna just go there. It's sad though sometimes that you have to go and get the approval of a PWI to then be accepted in the HBCU world. Portia shaking her head, but I'm gonna say it because that's true. I've spoke to several people that have attempted to go back to their alma mater, so forth and so on, and it was like, nah, until they received a higher degree from that PWI and then received that stamp of approval, and then it was like, oh, now you could come back, so to speak.
But then people told us, I won't call it out that way, that people at the consortium, because they at these PWIs was treating them funny. So we can't have it both ways. We didn't want them. We didn't want them. They ended up here, and we mad either way. That's ridiculous.
But
so before you keep going, so Dr. Wooten is in this chat. Remember, he was like, yo, I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't say nothing usually, but he said he gonna start saying something. What up, Dr. Wooten? But Chad, he was the reason why I asked this question. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there. I'm gonna put you out there. After our conversation that we had in ATL, it just got me to thinking, and that's why I asked that question, and that's why I'm looking or wanting to get you all's feedback on some of that, because the truth of the matter is, or at least from what I've seen, yeah, absolutely, Quan, you're absolutely right. In the sense of the fact that, one, we go there to get the approval to go back, right? But the other part about that is we kind of, and I don't see this quite often, but I see it often. It's almost like the undergrad grad conversation when it comes to Greek life. Like, I went this way, you went that way. I mean, we still brothers, but I don't know if you good. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you get what I'm saying. So it's kind of like you didn't go to one of our schools as undergrad. You ain't go to a HBCU, and you not teaching at a HBCU. So you ain't really one of us. You are color, but you ain't really one of us because you ain't had the same experiences that we had. You see what I'm saying? So that's where the point of the question comes from. So now having that full understanding, do you all still feel the same way?
Yeah, I still think this is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Like, no, they are still black people. Don't nobody else look at them and say they black, but they part black. They see black, and they our people. And no matter where you are, you're servicing somebody that looks like us. And why can't we come together, learn and grow together, and you take those pieces back? Stand. I don't get it.
So for me, just being honest, I think we still deal with aspects of double consciousness. Um, just being honest. This is my opinion. I feel like we deal with aspect of double consciousness, meaning now, first of all, there's not a lot of HBCUs. I think it's maybe one or two, if that. I know one for sure that has a master's degree in music at a HBCU. I believe that's FAMU.
I think it's like three. I think it's like three.
Yeah, I know it's FAMU, Jackson, and then maybe another one, right?
Norfolk.
Oh, Norfolk. I'm sorry. But out of those three, that's really it. You feel what I'm saying? Um, and with that being said, it's kind of like, and I've heard directors say this out of their own mouth. Um, they wouldn't hire me because I had all my degrees from an HBCU, and they told me to go to a PWI, quote unquote, for experience to come back and bring it back. You know, um, so I mean, I don't know because a person like Dr. Crooms, who's the director of bands at UT, he never attended at a HBCU, but who's going to disregard his expertise? Also, ain't he cool in the fan? Like he really is cool. You dig what I'm saying? Uh, so it's things like that that you see is like you're gonna just disregard that, you know. So I mean, like I say, you have some people, and we know we have certain cliques and certain sects, in the HBCU world where sometimes it's like, now we're not accepting them, and then you have another group that be like, nah, they Gucci. So I mean, it just depends, but both aspects of it is an aspects of division is divisive because we should accept them like Portia saying they're African American. They have experiences in the African American community, and maybe they can relate it and honestly teach and educate what's happening on the other side, on the other aisle. But all in all, I feel like we have to fix us as the culture, you know, overall in getting better. So I'll just leave it at that. But
The other thing I'm gonna say is after y'all have educated me about these peanuts that these HBCUs paying these people, I say, hey, go find you a job, go get your check. Okay, there's more than this over here. All right, I'm gonna encourage you to go get the money. All right, I'm sorry, but no.
And guess what? That's something as well. But you know, like Dr. Wooten is saying, like right now, he like he told us, he was like, bro, like I come to these events and I be kind of weirded out because I ain't go to HBCU. You know what I'm saying? But he could be one of our big uncles. You dig what I'm saying? It's like we disregard knowledge because of a quote unquote experience. When that experience and all experiences should grow you. You know what I'm saying? I look at all experiences, either you can make the decision, do I want to go that route, or maybe I shouldn't go that route, but it still be a lesson in itself. I just want all of us to do better. I do want the HBCU consortium to be big as Midwest, like, you know, and I know some people in the comments were saying, you know, it's time conflicts and so forth and so on. But the truth is, we make time for TMEA. No lie, I don't miss TMEA. I haven't missed TMEA possibly since 2014. I don't miss it, and I'm intentional about going. Now I have to be intentional about going to the HBCU consortium, just like me and Justin was intentional about going to Midwest. And if we're gonna be honest, Midwest was cool, but Midwest, in my opinion, wasn't better than TMEA. And I think I'm just telling you what it is. However, I think as the years progress and move forward, and as we get in the swing back from COVID, the HBC consortium can has that potential of being on the level of a TMEA for us in a great city. So
I can tell you straight up, I ain't never been to Midwest. Not because I didn't want to go, but it always happens during the holiday season, and I got cheering. So it's always a decision of if I'm going to Chicago or if I'm getting these gifts. And it's, yeah, you already know what that's gonna be. Consortium. Sorry, Crystal. But what Crystal is actually saying some gems in this comment in these comments right now, because a lot of the things that she's saying is true. Other than Southern fam, how many HBCUs hire their own people?
Most of them hire their own, though.
I'm asking.
I mean, I'm just saying most of them hire their own.
Who?
So you said Southern, you said fam, right?
Oh, well,
Jackson.
The basically the big known three.
The big three. Yeah.
All right. Who else?
Well, Grambling hired their own.
Somebody said
okay.
State in the comments.
So I guess you can put them in that conversation.
Yeah. We said Alcorn. Well, I mean, the headband director, I believe, didn't he go to Southern? But then now it's kind of like now. Yes, I believe now, but some of their like understudies and the associates and assistant directors, they graduated from Alcorn.
They came from Alcorn.
Chuck said A&T.
So yeah, I mean, and I'm just thinking about some of the schools that I know, Texas Southern.
But that situation is different. I feel
PV.
That situation, I feel like, is different too.
Norfolk.
Well, yeah, and we talking head spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you speak about some of those universities, like the head director may be different, but then as they sit in at the helm, then they begin bringing those people that was under their administration. So, yes, they graduated from that university, but it's the person under their tutelage to take over. So, yeah.
But still, because typically the head guy who is hired that is not from there, they're gonna probably bring up their own kids, but they ain't getting them head spots for the most part. They not transiting out and then they're getting the head spot. Think about it. Except for the top three that we named. They'll be hired as an assistant, maybe in a staff assistant situation, but for the most part, they probably ain't getting hired. And then a lot of people, and I'm going back to what Crystal was saying, a lot of situations and a lot of people who came from HBCUs who want to go back to HBCUs and ain't getting the gigs are like, well, shoot, they ain't gonna hire me, so I gotta go to this PWI.
And I ain't mad. You need a job, dog.
And then on top of that, then once you get the PWI, which is cool, but then you be kind of look like as an outcast or an outsider.
Who look at them? Who look at them like that?
I ain't talking about you, Portia, because you making sure they get the check. But I'm just saying though, you ain't come here with us. You ain't with us. Now, don't get me wrong. When they have accomplishments, shout out to Kelvin. When they have accomplishments, we big them up. We do. But let's be real. I can name my guy right now, Joseph Jefferson, who ain't stepped foot in HBCUs, but doing great things from a PWI perspective, and he's from Norfolk State. I don't think that we talk about Rick enough. Shout out to you, talking about.
But see, I think here's the difference though. The gentleman that you mentioned, he marched for Norfolk.
We fixed this, Quan.
He marched for the Spartans. I'm not about to get into it with y'all. Did he march for the Legion? Did he march? He marched for the Legion, right?
He marched in the Legion.
So guess what? You'll give him that stamp of approval because he marched with us. He marched for an HBCU. Rick marched for an HBCU, even though we know that Rick is an anomaly. The difference is you still give them that stamp of approval because they've experienced an HBCU. I thought you were speaking about this from the point of view of if you never had experience in the HBCU. And
but
even
I was talking about, yes, I was talking about that. That was the original conversation, but a lot of it, what I was then going into was what Crystal brought up in the chats, which is a lot of people don't hire our own anyway. Our own, in a lot of situations, don't hire our own. And so because of that, we go to the PWIs, and then we get hired by the PWIs. Then it's like, well, I mean, they went to a HBCU and they cool, but they had a PWI. How come they couldn't go to a HBCU? And then when you tell them, you be like, well, they weren't given opportunities, or in Portia's case, they ain't paying enough.
Yeah.
So then you kind of looked at, like, you cool, but you could have been here with us, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the issue with the PWIs I think the issue with the PWIs is an issue within itself, and I kind of agree with you, with what you were saying about how we look at each other sometimes, Quan, and how we judge each other. And then I'm also agreeing with you, kind of same thing, Portia, where you're like, we black, it shouldn't matter either way,
because they ain't pointing out no differences.
But I'm gonna be real. Like, if we're just gonna be honest, at this point, when it comes to HBCUs, you're fighting two monsters. Number one, you're fighting the admin who's been sitting in them seats for 20, 30 years, who don't want to change, and who feel like that the tradition of the school is the tradition of the school. That's number one. Number two, you're also fighting social media, where you have people that talk too goddamn much, that knows who's interviewing, and then will backdoor, and then you got kids that's involved, and then literally can remove a candidate from a position merely because the kids feel like, nah, they ain't from us. This ain't the type of style that they're gonna bring, and so forth and so on. Because we've seen in the past, in the last 7 years, how potential candidates at schools were removed because of the backlash social media of a school. So you fighting a 2-3-headed monster. So I agree with Portia from that point of view of, damn, I gotta low-key have the credential, march at a specific school that's an HBCU. You're really not gonna pay me. Then I gotta go through a goddamn trial period with the alum. You see what I'm saying? It's like, shit isn't worth it.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? But then, like, so it's a double, it's a dichotomy that we face, because we know it's certain things that when you step in that PWI world, that you kind of got a quote unquote prove to them. Like, Julian, you know how it is, how fraternal that DCI world is. Man, who you march for? What's your favorite show? Let me see, like, you know what I'm saying? It's that aspect. So I sometimes it's like we fighting to sit at what table? That's all I'm bro.
Yeah. You ain't never lying.
John, you know how these people are. Even when the coaches switch in auxiliary, They want you to prove yourself to them, even when you an alumni.
I'm not my
I
my
was
thing.
not excluded.
I'm not tripping on the trial, the trial. But what I am saying is it's so much to go through when, man, I ain't dropping no names. Like I never been that type of dude. But like we've seen situations, you dig, where it's like that qualified candidate was qualified. And what I mean by qualified, they had the credentials, they had the degrees, they had the cachet, they had the structure, they had the proven track record. But because that person might have, wouldn't have taught you how to blow that hole, it was like, nah. And I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Dang, it was so much that I wanted to say, because it's a lot of things that happen in the comments why y'all are going in, Quan. That I wanted to kind of jump in and out on. So the first thing I'm gonna say is, Justin put in there, it's not that many jobs though.
It's not that many HBCU jobs
because they don't want to create them.
Thank you. That you said said exactly what you said it. They would rather get some young dude who just graduated, or they partner who can come in and they can pay him under the table real quick and fill those spots, than to actually create these spots and work to actually have official positions open. And then not only have the official positions open, but then hire the people who are qualified for those positions.
You gotta pay them though. You gotta pay the qualified people.
But let's speak the real. Like, let's put it out there. We're gonna do it. At the end of the day, they'll rather hire somebody like you're saying. They'll have a kid. They might shove them in grad school. If your grad school got a program or something close by, they may even tell him, say, bro, go to Grand Canyon. We'll slide you some scholarship money here or there. Try to figure that out. You going to school, then you graduate with a master's in education. So now they put you on staff because you got a master's in education, not music education, but education. So you quote unquote fit the criteria because you have a master's degree. But you can't teach the entry level courses that's going to benefit the students. So you playing a musician. So that's number one. Then you backdoor, and you may, let's be honest, you may have a student that may be older that has the potential of teaching that specific section, but you call him an associate or an assistant or whatever the case may be, and you paying him through scholarship money.
I'm gonna tell y'all, I done seen some stuff here lately. It's some people on these band staff that ain't got a degree to first, not a single one. And that's not right. But I mean, if you got to have no degree versus a degree in something, I want you to have a degree in something, because what are we teaching these students?
I want you to, being honest, I want you to have a degree in the field that you're teaching if you're gonna teach. That's just my opinion.
I agree, but I want you to not have no degree and they got to call you professor anything, or this one of my band directors. How? This a college.
You say all them bands. Being honest, if you define what good is, some of them are. Just being honest. But how was that? See, here's the thing. And when I say this, people will say I sound like a hater. It goes back to, what's the standard? It's like, I feel like the goalposts get moved every year.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you, go to school. All right, I went to school. I got my music degree. They tell people like myself and Julian, go get your master's in music. We go. We apply. Nah, I'm going to hire the older guy, the student, the dude that may not even have a master's degree in music, or the guy that may not, but because, hey, he going to take this the scholarship money that turns into a refund check, that's what we gonna do. So my thing is like, where the standard? And I feel like that's how was that fair? Like, not being ugly. If you compared a young lady who danced for a line compared to the expertise of Miss Shawn, but because she's more affordable, I'm gonna go with her. Man, that's disrespectful. So you should take some of that shit on the chin, like disrespect. Like I know, like when it comes to like Smash Time, he may not have a degree in videography, but I feel that the work that he's putting over this time, he's an expert. I don't know about it. He does. But if another young dude who's playing with an iPhone say he's a videographer, he will feel some type of way. Well, maybe he want. I mean, I don't want to speak for the, what I'm saying, for, but I would. I'd be like, bro, goddamn videographer with no iPhone. When this when this man has invested his time and his livelihood into this craft. That's all I'm saying, bro. I mean, I don't want to get on the tangent.
Hey, I want to say, because see, now you using analogy that I can 100% get with. I mean, I can always get with them, but you just kind of started stepping into some territories that I understand, specifically my DJing life. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to get I know this is kind of going off tangent, but I used to get upset, man, when digital DJing became a thing, because I started with crates. I started with 2 belt drive turntables and a Newmark mixer and an amp, and and I was carrying crates. And all somebody got to do is just go and pick up well, after a while, all they had to do was go and get the NS6, and they were like, "Oh, I'm a DJ now." Bruh, my bad, Chuck. I ain't trying to hit you with the Smiths, because I know you done picked up the turntables and stuff now. But I'm just saying, back when I was really, really into the DJing game. So no, I agree, absolutely. And like I said, there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on in this chat. But no, I can agree with what you're saying. Absolutely, absolutely.
But again, my thing, bottom line is, what are we teaching the kids, bro?
That's what I said. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Like, when it comes to like college, understand that college is a place of higher academia. You should be an expert or striving to be an expert in your field, not something that's a hobby, not people that's giving their lives for it. That's just all I'm saying. And I feel like when it comes to HBCUs, we make loopholes for the benefit of not paying people their just due, to avoid fiduciary responsibilities, and to say we're entertaining. But what are we saying to those real music majors? And I'm not saying,
so no, go. Finish your thought.
I'm not saying that the degree is everything, because Miles Davis went to Juilliard Arts and realized, bro, most of the stuff I already know. So you're not going to argue with Miles Davis or Dizzy Gillespie. I'm not saying that. But those guys also promoted music education. They didn't diminish it. And they didn't claim to be professors at a conservatory. But I just want to answer this question real quick to Donald. The reason why a lot of these schools, real talk, are not considered conservatories is because when people graduate, most of them ain't graduating certified. But that's a whole nother topic. So how you gonna have a conservatory when some of these music departments ain't even accredited? Different story. Because you got to have senior recitals at a certain level to be accredited. Some of these music programs don't even have functioning recital halls, but different story.
Smiths. Dang it. Oh, I thought I lost my train of thought, but I got it back. So with everything that you said and everything that's on your mind, tell me, and I know the answer to this, but I just want to hear your thoughts on it. What makes Mr. Adams any different than the people that you're referring to?
Mr. Adams got a degree in music?
You answered the question.
No, I don't. But I don't know Mr. Adams like that. Do we?
Yeah, he went to school. He went to Southern and was working at Southern. I think he was 16, 17, somewhere around there, as a director or assistant band director.
You know what the difference is? That man's a real life genius.
Well, yeah, he is a real life genius, absolutely. But he also has degrees in music, though.
He does. But I mean, you don't meet very many geniuses in your life. That man's a genius. I mean,
But also he continued the process.
that's true.
Like he continued the process. Man, I don't ever want to talk that tea. But some of what's going on is a bunch of bullshit. And y'all know I don't never normally curse. He turned his like, come on now, y'all. We gotta. My mama would say call a spade and a trump a trump. Some of what we doing, we only allow in our
spaces.
In our spaces and institutions. Now, I'm not saying
these people not geniuses, Simon.
I'm not saying it don't happen at PWIs, because, for example, Scott Johnson doesn't have a degree in music either. But Scott Johnson learned his craft, stayed in his lane, and he deals with DCI battery. You don't see this man at a university claiming that he's a professor.
Or listed as an assistant director of bands. Without a degree and nothing.
Adding hot water to the pot.
Oh man. Dang, not a degree in nothing.
Nothing. Not nothing.
Jesus.
And then and got the audacity to tell kids keep going to school. God damn, boy.
Now that is where the problem. That's where the problem happens, man. Yeah, I ain't got no degree, but you keep going.
Keep going.
You keep going.
Like the old.
When I was in the band, well, evidently it ain't work out because you ain't finished. So I don't want your advice. See, I can't. Child, what?
Hey,
why am I listening to you?
The old
folks. You know how to made you an authority on anything. Do the school know you ain't got no degree? I'm closer than you. I would be talking cash. Listen.
Hey, the old folks say test the spirit by the spirit. They be lying. I'm just saying, bro. Come on, nah.
Baby. You need to do this. I don't. We need to do it together.
I'm sorry, that is hilarious. I'm sorry that because I didn't even think about that part. I ain't got not one spit of degree in my hand.
They be lying.
Yeah. Come on. I ain't got one spit degree in my hand and be at the goddamn graduations playing pomp and circumstance with my kids walking across the stage.
Hey, y'all
taking pictures with them.
Walk with them. I'm gonna
taking pictures with them. So now they more educated than you. How this work?
Be taking pictures with them. Be like, I'm so proud that you
look
made
at
it across
the stage. My student. You no degree having ain't got no student. You got child. It's a mess.
That is like the crackhead telling you stay in school.
It is. Yes, it is. Simon, that's the one. Simon, that's the one. That is the one. How?
Yeah, baby, you gotta stay in school. I am.
You at the graduation shaking hands and they now that they done got this degree, they more educated than you. You don't feel no type of way. You showing up with a darn suit on talking about I'm a director of bands. Do you know we know that you ain't got no degree? I'm sorry. I'm done.
Hey man, they just came there to teach.
And that's it.
That's it. And that's it. Like, dog, do y'all know? Like, some people are focused on being band directors so much to where my question is, as a band director, and this is just my opinion, you know, at the end of the day, as a band director, your job is to teach and emulate what you want your students to take away. Because most of what you do, warm-up sequence, so forth and so on, all your students gonna do the same thing. That's why when Professor Lindsay B. Sargent wrote that warm-up B-flat FAMU, that's why it's most black schools we play it. FAMU play E-flat warm-up, that's what we play, right? So influence of that position and seat matters. So like to just excoriate the ancestors, these goats, because they had degrees in music at times when it was segregation and had to create these programs from scratch due to segregation, they told Dr. William P. Foster, bro, you ain't marching here. Create your own stuff. And, years later, you have the Florida A&M University Marching Band. So you going to tell this man, nah, I'm going to be like you, but I don't want to go through what you went through. And I think that's the problem of the dichotomy when we talk about, are they accepted in the Black world? Are the PWI welcomed into the HBCU band directors world? One thing we can agree upon: they have a degree and they went through some type of trial and tribulation to say, I could sit at the table. Yeah, your table may be different, but you sitting at the table as a colleague, and I can learn from you, brother, sister. But to say, I'm gonna sit at the table, but I ain't paying for nothing. Well, goddamn it, you a freeloader at that point. Ain't this crazy?
Because I got 100,000 hits, and my kids think I'm lit.
Here's the crazy thing: we will accept this from a degree, but tell a person a new butthole if we find out there was perp in an organization.
I just came to dance for y'all. That's all.
That's it.
I just came to play being a band director. That's it.
And you better not call me out on it. And I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about your whole staff.
Here's the crazy thing, Portia. We have people that didn't even march for the college sector that got more pull than people that did march for them. But we sorry though.
And we giving them the platform. We supporting that foolishness, but that's a conversation for another day.
Good. Hey, man. Hey. Why y'all hating so much?
Child.
Why y'all hating? Y'all just hating, man. Y'all some haters.
We are. Because guess what? I don't ever work a job. I don't want to ever have a coworker that don't work as hard as me that get paid the same as me.
I don't ever speak on things that aren't my wheelhouse. So how you gonna comment on something that you ain't never been on the inside of? But that's not my business.
So we got band director perps now. Damn.
Playing
the band work I made work.
All right. Man, let's slide on to the next comment before Quan head blow off. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. Where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture and music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash. I'm not gonna say that S word. That like that thing. I ain't gonna say it. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passioneers Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in "Talk That Talk."
Did you see what Crystal said? There's more band director perps than Greek perps. God damn it!
Yeah.
I'm going to the PWI. I'm about to get in the transfer portal right now.
That actually may be true though. There may be more band director perps than Greeks. What was I saying? Oh yeah, subscribe to the Passioneers Network. There you go. Turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Type in "Talk That Talk," except for on Apple Podcasts where you type a real "Talk That Talk." There you go. Got through it. I don't remember what my fourth topic was. I think that we didn't got so heavy into the other joints that, hey. But kind of off the consortium path for a second, I've been kind of seeing this. So here's the question. And it kind of can morph into a lot of other stuff. Is it okay to have marching band after adjudication?
Say it again.
Is it okay to have marching band after adjudication? Go ahead, Quan, since you just got adjudicated. Did I spell adjudication right? Yeah, I did. Okay. Just want to make sure.
It's scrolling. I'm trying to read it. Yeah, I believe so. All right.
Simon already responded.
I mean, the thing about it is you can, but so this is just me. So this is what I plan on doing. I plan on continuing doing sight reading aspects, building them. Because the truth is, I don't know if some of my kids, due to the transfer rate for the area that I teach in, I know some of my students, they may not live in this area next year. So I want them to continue participating in band, and I don't know where they're going to be. So at the end of the day, teaching you scales or techniques and methods and different pedagogy that I may not was able to teach, I want to make sure that you have. I want to make sure that it's certain aspects of music theory I want you to have and master. So I think this is still like teaching season. But if I want to pass out a new arrangement, you could. My thing is, it shouldn't be just drowned with that. Maybe I want to teach a jazz standard. There's other things you can do. So, I mean, but the goal is to make practice fun from now until the end of the year. Plus, you should have a spring concert. Also, you should be preparing for graduation. Maybe you should push them. We played grade, the highest piece that we played was a grade 2.5. Maybe I could try to teach them a grade 3. So, but I don't see nothing wrong with a jamboree though. But
what's a jamboree?
Kind of like a gym battle. Is that what you're talking about, Simon?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, ain't no like field show to no jamboree. No, I think I've seen a few field shows on a couple of jamborees.
Or even honestly, start your leadership camps. Like if you think about like that, start your leadership camps for next year. See who's going to, who deserves to be a section leader if you're going to do it. Have your drum major tryouts. If you're going to do that in the fall, start preparing them for the fall festivals. Start getting them to think about the rubrics of what they're going to be adjudicated for the fall, so forth and so on. But I mean, you never know, man.
Portia, is it okay to have marching band after adjudication?
I'm tired. Stop that. I showed up today. I was like, Lord Jesus, the Christ. Them kids are so happy to be there. And I was just like, Lord have mercy. What time is this over today? No, it's I agree with Quan. It's so much more to do. I know our process for a marching band our size is filled with interviews and applications for section leader for different things. We start planning for the season. Yeah, it's so much more to do. And that doesn't involve that. I'm so happy. I think the last thing we're doing this season, this whole year, is this thing on Saturday. And then we start working for next year. So I just feel like it's so much more you could do with that time. Than that. At least for college. We ain't doing no battles, jamborees, or nothing else this time of year.
So I know when I used to, after adjudication, what to do is I used to already have music ready. Because I used to tell my kids, we ain't playing our UIL music for spring concert. We doing a whole new set of stuff. And that's because I wanted to keep them learning new concepts and things of that nature. Now, yes, there are also some other things that you can do. Obviously, yes, jazz band. That springtime is really kind of when I would start my leadership camps as well. So that's definitely a thing. I know too. Sometimes at Willow Ridge, we would during the spring semester, we would do everything. So we would have we would start with the marching band performing, and then we'd go into the wind ensemble, and then we'd have the jazz band perform. So there were other things that we were doing besides marching band. I kind of agree. A little marching band here or there, maybe the drum line playing somewhere, or some random parade or something. But other than that, no, not a consistent thing. But this leads me to another question that was on my mind when I put this question up. Are we anti-marching band? I just feel like we be anti-marching band sometimes.
I'm gonna speak for me. I don't know that I'm anti-marching band. I just think at a certain point in this season, I'm just marching band out, and I think that should be okay to be done with that. Yeah, I'm not anti-marching band. I think that if it is your heart's desire, you and whoever is on your staff want to keep going, and do year-round marching band. Hey, who am I? But I don't want to do it year-round. That's just me. I'm not anti-marching band. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not watching any of it right now. I'm not. Yeah, no.
I look at it like this, bro. You need to do, at the end of the day, if you're the director, you need to do whatever it's going to take to improve your band for whatever those adjudicators say you need to improve on. So, like everybody know, whatever. Oh, you got to look. Oh, like everybody was saying, like
no, I remember what my fourth question was. My bad. Okay. Go ahead.
Like when you get adjudicated, and I got adjudicated this morning, they give you like a long list of things to help improve, and as a director, sometimes other people have to tell your kids the same thing that you've been telling them because it hit different when somebody else said it, and they don't look at you like, oh, Mr. Mitchell been saying that. Yeah, I know, So maybe those are the things that you need to fix. But also you can focus on giving your seniors a realistic approach of what's going to take place this fall mentally. If in the fall your show, sit down and plan the show with the students, get the buy-in factor, start recruiting, visiting middle schools, if you're a high school teacher and so forth and so on, because I know that some universities are about to start doing their tours or whatnot. It's different things you can do. I mean, is marching band fun? Yes. Like let's put it's fun, but it's not the only aspect to grab their attention. So that's just how I look at it, bro.
Cool. I remember my fourth question. I am so happy because it just popped in my brain when Quan was saying something. Not necessarily that he was going into it, but it sparked the thought. So here we go. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's get to it. I've already put the link inside of the chat. So if you want to come in and talk that talk with us, you are more than welcome. Let me go ahead and put this last one up. So welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, go ahead and tap the like, daddy, smash it. Go ahead, give us the thumbs up. It's all good. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionate Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. This was supposed to be the first question, but now it is the last question, and it's all good because thanks to Quan, I remembered it. Are directors just trying to survive or stay relevant in today's version of band directing? Are band directors just trying to survive or stay relevant in today's version of band directing? There we go. That was the question. Oh, I didn't call nobody. Portia, go for it. Portia, did you start the last one?
Portia.
I think so. Yeah. That's what Dr. Sanford called me.
Yeah, that's why I call her Portia all the time. Quan, and you go ahead and hit it then.
Well, excuse me, that depends on that band director, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna put all band directors in that group and basically be like, yeah, they all are, because like you said, man, Dr. Miles said something profound. He was like, he basically said, somebody said, well, you need to be more relevant on social media. He was like, but you know about my program, so why? I felt that in my spirit, because I feel like there's certain aspects of your life that nobody really should know. You should know I'm a band director, but my personal life, I post what I want. But I shouldn't be posting certain things that always draws attention to the band, because if the music and the band is good, that should speak for itself. So it just depends on who that band director is.
Are they trying to stay relevant or survive? In what context? Are we saying?
Go
ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, we talk a lot about what you should be doing in the band room, what directors should be doing or could be doing, so on and so forth. But in a lot of cases, do we think that those things and methods are skipped because they're just trying to stay relevant or survive?
I feel like some of them are, but I won't say all of them. We can't even convince Bethea to get a social media, not even one that we would run for him. So, I mean, it just depends on the program. I do feel like some people are tailoring their programs and even their approach to band music education, all of that, to what is deemed popular on social media, which is strange, but we do see some of that, because there are certain things that our band directors would not have done, which some band directors won't do right now. But I do think that some of them are trying to survive and compete with likes and follows and shares and all that other stuff. I do think it's a factor, and I do think it's impacting some of what we see. I.e., Wheaties boxes, push-ups, and other weird stuff that should never leave, the band room.
Say, y'all remember
that? That was funny to me, Portia, when you finally saw that. But go ahead, Quan.
No, I was just about to say, bro, I'm about to transition out to the call. But what I realized, bro, you remember it was a point in time when the head band director, like, you look at that position as so mystique, as like a position of like professionalism, like it just was different. You know what I'm saying? And
now anybody can do it. That's how I feel.
Well, yeah, and that's how it comes across when it's like, but you looked at that person as like you earned this, and they carried themselves like, say, bro, like I built this table, and not from an arrogant sense. Now, some of them were arrogant, but it was just from the point of view of like they understood the responsibility of that seat, that they were influencing the youth of the future. So they carried themselves. Now, they might have had their own issues behind closed doors, like most of us do. But in front of us, the cachet that they had was like, carry yourself with a sense of professionalism at all times. This attitude will carry over in your everyday real world life. I want you to be on time for band practice because you need to be on time for work. I don't want you to be arrogant because God can humble you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just was different. You know what I'm saying? To where you had a sense of humility to be close to your band director, because you felt that him or her was not only a great person, but a great leader. I think sometimes with social media, bro, like it has watered down and has given so much access to that individual to where it's taken away from that type of mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think also these people don't have those kinds of mentalities. A lot of people, when they see the Legion in person, comment on just the structure and the nature. But we'll tell, Julie and I say it all the time, like that talking mess on the internet, that outlandish going back and forth, arguing with people, that was not what we received from that podium. Dr. Sanford said all the time, your performance is going to speak for itself. We don't do all that. We're not going to act like that. So it's a thing. And I'm still that way now about stuff. I'll tell her, I don't care what people say in them comments. You go out there and you shut them up.
Yeah. Do you remember when we couldn't go on marching sport? Like that was like Prof. Edwards used to be like, if I see it on marching sport, I'm a dock your scholarship. We was like, damn, for real? Like we were scared of that. Like, put it on the field, butt kicking playing.
But now it's band directors out there talking junk, making whole videos about the band they about to battle. I'm sorry, you don't have a practice to be at.
Smiths.
That's weird to me. Then your man show up and be trash, but you spent time making a video and getting it edited to release.
Not trash, but trash.
Trash. That's a Mateo word. Y'all gotta hear. But I'm sorry, you spending time on the wrong stuff. But then we wonder why when these people get in these battle situations, fights break out and stuff like that. That's because the band director's on the internet acting a fool. So the kids think it's okay because you going back and forth with people in the comments. I'm gonna tell y'all, like I lose a notch of respect for people who you a band director or you a coach. This happened this season on the internet, going back and forth and calling people out. What kind of?
They're like,
I know you lying.
They like Suge Knight.
Right.
You tired of your band director in the front, doing this, doing that, swinging your hands. Come to Death Row University.
Right.
Oh, bro.
Acting a complete fool. And it's ridiculous. I think all of this stuff is out of control. And people say stuff all the time, but they need to be more in the public. He need to be up on the podium. They need to see him get hyped. Who is they? Who is they? And I'm sorry, this ain't that program. When we get in performance, our drum majors lead us.
Man, let me tell you one thing I know is true. I've been knowing y'all for a year. It's like the Legion is a cult. Because everybody has, whoever plays the Legion is Legion. You understand me? You can't even play. You know what I'm saying? You can't even play like you Legion. If I was just clowning, it was like, yeah, I'm Legion. Boy, who is you? I was just playing. Don't play like that. It's like Jesus, Legion. After, you know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all speak the same, like, when I tell you y'all players the Legion.
Whoa. No,
I don't mean pledging like that. Let me be clear. What I mean by it is like just the emphasis of this is how we think. This is the Legion way. This is the only way. Either you Legion or not. Is Legion versus everybody. Is the Legion way? Are we gonna lead your ass out the door? Like that's it, bro. And it's like I'm enamored at that because I've only seen that only at certain big schools, like Real Talk. And I know for years, many people have not known about the Legion in the South. Like certain people, like Southern, you're gonna get that. Rain, sleet, or snow. Southern may lose. They ain't gonna never say it. That's the Southern way. Same with FAMU, they be like, we have arrived, type, situation. But the Legion, bro, y'all on some different stuff on that East Coast. Y'all drunk. I need to start asking people, you drunk that Legion water? You drunk that Spartan water? I'm telling you, because y'all be killing it, dog. That's all I'm saying. I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble.
So he's only so the truth of the matter is, because see, I was gonna actually help him out with this. The reason why he's like that is because he's met more than just me, you, and Rick.
Oh,
so
yeah.
And all three of us have had similar conversations. But when he got to ATL and he met some other folk, he was like, because I pulled him aside and I was like, hey, you see, like all of us talk the exact same. He was like, dog, I see y'all don't change for nothing. Like it's the truth. I mean, we normal people. When we start talking about Legion, it's different. We have a completely different conversation.
And it's so crazy because it's so many different years in there that this is the way.
It don't matter. Whoever came up with this Legion concept needs to write a book on it. And I'm saying that, and I'm not playing, because it's like leaders amongst leaders. And it's like, I don't care what year I met, when Rick had came down to do some Mandarin work, and I met some other people that was in the Legion as well. Some of them were from New Orleans or whatnot. Talk the same way. Like, I don't care what instrument, what section, what era, male or female, this is the Legion way. And it's kind of like I'm telling you, I look at certain things and I'll be like, that's how, if you're a high school director, that's the mentality that you want to develop in your young students, because it doesn't matter like everybody else's opinion. This is the Legion way. And it's like, during that time frame, whoever truly cultivated that, like, that's awesome, bro, because like that's once in a lifetime type of experience. You know what I'm saying? It's even, we all are Greek. There may be another alpha that had a different experience at a different chapter in a different region. Yes, we're alphas, but everybody in the Legion, it's the same way, same thing, the same process. Just kudos to y'all, bro. Real
Shout out to Chief, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, he was his brainchild, and we just been kind of keep it going. Simon, don't do that. Simon, don't do that. Somehow he ain't lying.
I mean, hey,
he made
been around the whole band.
Yeah, he made some comments after he was in Cali with us.
Yeah, so he know too. Before we bring him in, because he's sitting back there, I do want to say shout out to Drumline Live. They actually performed, what was it, while we were gone in was it while we were gone in ATL? I think they were in Houston.
There, bro. Who's there?
We were where?
It was in Atlanta. I Miss Sean posted it, and I said, when is that? And she was like, oh, that was Saturday.
I thought it was in Houston.
I thought it was in Houston because Doc was there. No, I think it was in Houston, bro.
Oh, I'm tripping. Okay.
I think it was in Houston. No. Yeah. So, yeah, but shout out to Drumline Live. Dr. Zachary was able to perform in that, and I actually, Sean put the video up, so I thought that was super cool. And then they had a Houston, what was it, HBCU night or HBCU something, where PV and some of Texas Southern band program, because it couldn't have been all the Texas Southern, because a lot of those kids were in Atlanta too. But some of the kids.
No, bro. Them kids left back and was there at the game as soon as they got off the bus from the consortium.
I thought that was all the you may be right. Okay.
Nah, they did, because they left after they performed.
Oh, okay. Well, shout out to them too. And shout out to Sean, because Sean is a triple threat. Sean was in ATL, turned around and went to the performance. Yeah, you're right, because she was there. So so she performed the ATL, turned around and went to that performance at the HBCU All-Star basketball game, and then turned around and performed with the Rockets. I turned on the TV because I was watching the Rockets game, and I'm watching the Rockets game during halftime, and I see Sean. I turned to my wife. I'm like, yo, is that Sean? And she was like, yeah. I was like, yo, I don't know how she did it. I thought she had a twin at first. I was like, nah, there's no way that she could have did all that. Nah. So, hey, kudos to her.
She's the definition. If these boots was made for walking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, man. Let's
I might have hold on. I might have said some stuff about the Legion. I don't think I ever called us a cult.
No, I said it.
No,
I
said it.
Edwin said in the comments that I said the same thing. I don't know about a cult.
I said that.
I wouldn't have used that reference.
Let me tell you, bro. Hey, I don't want to go on a tangent again. But when you say the word Legion 3 times, there's a Spartan guard that comes from up and be like, it's like Beetlejuice. Look, I said it. I'll be quiet.
Let these people in because I'm done with this conversation.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I mean, he really ain't lying though. All right, man. Come on, Justin. Come on in here, man. What you got for us, bro? First of all, man, where you at? You ain't in the crib.
I'm in Richmond, man. I'm thugging.
Right. Got you. All right, man. Well,
I had a event out here last weekend, and I'm like, you know what? I seen the Sparta coming. Let me stay the week. Y'all done messed up and let me understand how close Richmond is to Norfolk, and I done got a list of these restaurants that I never heard of. Scrump. The burr shrimp with the burr catfish. Well, I mean the grilled shrimp, the grilled catfish. Now, I'm from the South. Now everybody asks, you're not from around here. I said burr. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? I said, it's good as hell. I didn't went to this. Like, boys, I got a list of restaurants I didn't went to. You probably know a few of them right quick. I don't mean it. I'm just up here thinking. Sharp Pump, ridiculous. Yep.
Short Pump. Yeah.
Mama J's. Man, listen. And that's all since Saturday when I got here. Another one. I ain't really like that place. I don't put it right there. But Southern Kitchen, that's good as hell too. You know what I'm saying? Just been, driving around, getting my little, tourism thing on.
You didn't experience my city. Come on.
Hell yeah. I said it's cool. I'm not going to I kind of like Richmond a little better. But anyway, it's just my thing. And why they extending this down to don't worry about it. That's another story. I got a damn detour. I guess Portsmouth. I was trying to come through. They took me all the way around. Like, there's a lot of damn water out here. I talk about us. Nevertheless, I'm out here thugging, living my little best life, eating all this food and stuff like this. So yeah. What is? All right. So look, a few things y'all said. One. I won't go to. I think the HBCU Band Director Consortium, a lot of people ain't rocking with it because one, I just don't think it's popped enough. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of them, outside looking in, it's one of them, if you know kind of deals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know about Midwest, I just never been. I had no idea about this until I heard y'all talking about it in recent weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going instead of third. So I wouldn't mind, helping them promote it. I went to the website. It's pretty straight, but I think that's one reason why people ain't going. And I'm with Quan. I think it can, from hearing what y'all saying, it can be as big as Midwest, you know what I'm saying, for us by us type deal. I just think that's the reason why, a lot of people ain't going. Another thing y'all had said, I think the black band directors of the PWI should have a spot at the table. One, we always talk about the type of music we have to play, why we should play concert band music instead of third. And it's kind of like how y'all said, I don't know what correlation I made with this, but when y'all was like, why the HBCUs, they want you to go get a degree from the other schools to work for them, but they don't want to hire you. I don't know how I was trying to correlate that whole thing, but I think the experience that they have working at PWIs can be helpful to the HBCU band directors for the students to, promote their education and go through when they're trying to go to grad school and stuff like that. Just small things. I mean, y'all always can learn from each other, whether it be field shows or whatever. Another thing, there we go. I kind of agree with y'all when y'all was talking about the HBCUs that hire their own, and how that's why I put in the comments, it's not that many HBCU jobs. And I'm gonna say this. What I've noticed, a lot of the HBCUs that hire their own always have a top program for the most part. And one can look at that and say, well, it's working for them. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of times when y'all said like they need to create more jobs, I definitely agree. HBCUs need to create more jobs for you know, their own like, you know, different people to come get these jobs. But it's almost like I'm a stand on saying I just think most times when people be complaining about not being able to go work at an HBCU, they want those top bands. They don't want those bands when they got to go build a program. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people who I know get a job at something college in bum mess Texas or whatever, they don't have a problem getting a job. It's just a matter of them staying and creating it and, you know, trying to create a brand. So that's why my little backlash on that. I think it's just they want the big schools or the already known schools instead of going to get create a couple bands. There's no way Mr. Bonds going to create all these damn bands, these different schools, and you know what I'm saying, making a name for them. Why you can't be like that? So if you're as good as you say, I think there's a lot of job opportunities. I just think that it's just people won't work either at the school they came from or the known schools, or like y'all said, because I know there's a lot of, you know, Kwame won't come a real strategic with his words. A lot of the people who don't be qualified or don't have the cachet or the degree and stuff like that. A lot of times, like Portia, you said he was genius. They may be a genius in their own right, or they whatever they may be doing may be with the school, like, you know what I'm saying, the school just hiring. I mean, people ain't getting hired for no reason in this social media age. And I just think that sometimes it sucks that, you know what I'm saying, that you may be qualified, or a person may be qualified, and you know you're more qualified than them, but they got a job. They may just have what it takes in a new time to get the job, whether that be a popular name on social media. They can get a recruit a band. Schools kind of want numbers, and the drumline ain't taught us nothing. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Lee was stuck in his ways, but even Dr. Lee had to, you know what I'm saying, understand that this is what they want to play. So, you know what I'm saying, he was forced to do it. But that's just my take on that. And the last thing, because y'all say so damn much, our band directors trying to survive. That question, you like, are they trying to survive? Part of me wanted to say, they better if they want a job. You know what I'm saying? Especially in a new age. But when y'all read the comment about whoever that was said, you don't gotta know me, but you know my band. That's some real stuff too, and I could attest to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, you don't gotta be all out in the open and boisterous and P Diddy and the camera type person to keep up if your band is that good, or you are that good of a band director and your staff that good. And most times, a lot of people who may be all in the camera, we should say a lot, they don't be the person they think they are. So they got to keep up with the hype in those aspects. But I think that's a double one. You need to be able to keep up with the Joneses, but as well as, if you don't want to be one of those vendors who all in the camera stand a third, you got to let your work kind of speak for yourself. And a lot of people are doing it. So I don't know about that question. I'm on the fence about it. Like, I understand you got to keep with the hype, but some band directors are ghosts, or you never see them, but the band director program is legit. So that's one of the ones. So that's my, you know, so let's go on all the stuff y'all talked about today.
So let me say this first. I know that you said that, you know, they got to be a genius in their own right. I think there's a difference between a genius and an idiot savant. So, and I say that because I can only go off of, I've never met too many geniuses in my life. Paul I. Adams is a genius. So let me break it down even further.
Documented.
Well, it's documented, but visually seeing it and watching it is a sight to behold. So, Legion. So what I mean by that is, he was sitting in the band room one day. He was teaching, blah, blah, blah. And you know, if Mr. Adams comes to the band room and he works on something, he is subdividing the music and he is breaking it down to the smallest degree. Like, literally, he will close his eyes and walk into the room and he will listen to the music and he will call out each person. He won't call out a section. Like, most people will call out a section and be like, hey, euphoniums, you may need to go up, a half cent, so on and so forth, or, don't play too loud here. No, he will have his eyes closed, point in your direction, and call your name and said, you played this wrong. And it will literally be you. But that ain't even what I'm talking about. So in the middle of this rehearsal, he stops in the middle of it and he says, it feels like 5 o'clock. And so in that moment, we all look down like, this man said it feel like 5 o'clock. How does it feel like 5 o'clock? If we look at our watch, it's 5 o'clock. I ain't never seen that happen ever a day in my life. Ever.
That's that Candyman stuff I was talking about.
I didn't think y'all would take about genius in literal term. I was going along I guess getting the job. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this, because I've been in a position a couple of times whereas I know, well, I guess I haven't really been there, but I can understand, like, as for this positioning and qualifications, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get one of y'all said, like, he was a director at 17, he didn't have a degree. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people like that, and I come from
he had a degree. He had a degree.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, but I come from a place whereas, like, I ain't gonna say some of the most talented people I know are not certified in what they do. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't have a degree, or just like y'all was talking about in the comments. I taught for 2 years and didn't pass practice. You know what I'm saying? But the third year I taught, I was damn near a math teacher at the damn school I was teaching. You know what I'm saying? So like, sometimes you can't really judge a person off the way they got where they at, because you may be more qualified than them. Sometimes they may just be good at what they do. And I hate, like, places of higher learning will hire somebody like that, because like you promote higher learning, but you hire different. What message is that preaching out to the kids? And I definitely see that. I can't be a person who don't see both sides. It's just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like the crackhead telling you don't do drugs and he smoke crack, but at the same time, I don't want to do that. So I don't know, man. It's tough because I can understand it, and I've been around a lot of people who are not certified in everything they do, but can teach better than people who have the degree. That's my house in, you know what I'm saying? So I see what y'all saying. I do see it, but it's like, damn, like it's like, what is somebody who went to school for this to do when they're not getting a fair shot and they did everything right? And the people who getting the shot at these positions is not, you know what I'm saying? Or like they have a social media following. I'm here to tell you, better get your ass on social media.
So, hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
So Justin, my thing is this. Then why just not hold that person accountable and be like, say, bro, we're gonna help you get this degree? Like why not just like do that? Because the reason why I said it is, you would not let a dude that was like, you know what, bro, like, I know how to do surgery. Like, so I'm gonna take out your kidney, but I mean, I didn't go to med school, but I'm really good at it though. You'll be like, hell nah, put that scalpel down. I feel like when it comes to certain fields and certain crafts, we accept it, and then others we don't.
Okay, Quan, but if the hospital hired him, if the hospital hired him, and let's say y'all get into a debate, the hospital hired this fool, he didn't have no degree, and you know
what
you
capacity though? Is he hired there as a janitor and he just like to perform surgery?
Obviously, he hired as the position that I think I want. You know what I'm saying? Because, or I should have, because I'm more qualified than him. I don't know.
But watch this though, bro. Because he didn't take a Hippocratic oath, then it's malpractice. What I'm saying is, it's a whole bunch of malpractices going on. And honestly, when it comes to music, and we from the same area, it's a whole bunch of band directors that's not certified, that built and established programs, honestly, that had a high standard. But what I'm saying is, it got to a point where they decided to get a degree. Prime example, one of the best arrangers that I've ever met in my lifetime is Mr. Adrian Watkins Sr. He used to write for St. Aug. He got a degree. He didn't march in the college, but he graduated from Xavier University. And at that time, Xavier had a fire music program, but he didn't march. But that didn't stop him from saying, I'm going to attain this degree so that I can teach it at this specific level. All I'm saying is, once you get to the collegiate level, let me just say that, the collegiate level, because when I first started teaching, my first 7 years, I was not certified. Like, I'm not about to be a hypocrite. But what I'm literally saying is, at the collegiate level, Where's the standard and accountability? Because now we're creating leaders of the free world that's going to be in occupations the next generation. That's just my 2 cents on that, bro.
I think personally, I think that's stuck Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? I think the school needed that needs to be addressed to the school. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the person who, like, because I can't help that I'm this good and I have whatever the school wanted to give me the position or whatever. First of all, I ain't gonna say that because they're gonna over whole nother card. But I don't know too many people, you know what I'm saying, that's in a position that, like, that didn't have what the school wanted to give them that position. And it sucks to somebody who worked hard and went to school instead of third, but I'm not gonna act like I know, like, that I don't know a bunch of people who are just good at what they do. Or, like, what I'm saying, not like to y'all creating position. You know what I'm saying? My question I posed to y'all. Man, a collegiate level.
Hire them as a clinician to teach a specific thing. What I'm saying to you is, you do not. Why we telling these people to spend all this money to go to school and to get this degree, but I see somebody sitting in front of me that I gotta address as a director of bands.
I can't argue that.
That does not have credentials. What are we doing? This whole program is a sham. This is a hot mess.
But here's the thing to add to it. But the reason why they're hiring, not saying that person is incapable of doing that position or job, but most of these HBCUs that do hire those individuals that are in those positions is because it's cheaper. And anybody that have the proper credentials, you're not about to throw me the pennies that I would have been receiving. You know what I'm saying? Like,
go ahead, Quan.
Nah, because like we stated on this on this show, man, you got some band directors that's making between $50,000 and $60,000 as the assistant director of bands, and then they have to teach 3 or 4 classes to supplement their pay. But if you don't have a degree in music, you can't even teach entry-level courses. But that's why, honestly, I'm gonna just put it out there. You have a lot of band programs that's falling under athletics for that reason alone. Different story conversation.
I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these people, the university does not even know that these people you're putting in front of this band program don't have no degree.
Thank you. That was what I was gonna get to. Cause go ahead, Portia.
Some of these schools do not know. The president knows, the current president of Norfolk State knows what I look like, but the one before that don't. I'm a contractor. So they don't know that Johnny Smo don't have no degree. They don't know that.
Portia, you good at what you do? Yes. Is y'all band lacking anywhere across the board? I know I'm saying, it's band lacking across the board. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying for the whole staff. You're right. The president might not know if you have a degree, and you know what I'm saying, maybe a student do it now, but if you call that what you do, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I understand. I'm not arguing, I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I just understand how it happened, how it's happening. It sucks. I'm that kid, you know what I'm saying? You're not about to tell me to go to school and get a damn degree and you don't have one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just be disrespecting you and not taking you serious, at least. You know what I'm saying?
I found out you're not going to class. Well, you didn't go either.
Yeah. I guess I feel you. It's a great conversation, you guys. I do, and it sucks that stuff that's happening, but I do gotta understand, like, man, they good though. They good. Like, I would hate to be a person with a degree and certified, and I can't mess with a person who don't. Like, that I see it happen a lot though. You can't walk on the same street as dude. He ain't got no type of degree. I see it happen. I see it happen all the time. But I don't want to hold you time. Mr. Luke, sir. I've been waiting for this reaction video for a little minute now, and I thought about you the other day when I was doing some YouTube work, and I got some stuff I need to talk to you about my guy. But yeah, I'm waiting for that to happen. Okay. So.
I haven't forgot. I'm getting off of a interesting weekend. Coming back into a lot of stuff that I got to handle. Plus, I haven't figured out what video I want to do yet. So I think there's that too. So those are the 2 reasons. But I haven't forgotten. Matter of fact, we talked about it briefly in ATL. So I mean, they're staying on top of me as well. So that I haven't forgot. I just put it that way.
And my bad. First thing I had on my list. I know you said you had technical difficulty because I watched the live. Great job, you guys. I would have liked to see the audience. I know you said you had technical difficulties. I ain't gonna get you. My whole time, it's like I want to see who that is back there talking. I want to see who engaged in this conversation, who actually watching. You know what I'm saying? Who y'all see? So I wanted to see the audience. So next time, look, I know what you look like. I know what you sound like. Turn the camera and let's see the crowd next time. We understand what y'all got going on.
No. What happened? No, for real. What happened? If I'm gonna be very honest, we were given a time, so we were set to go at that particular time. So we at the hotel. I was already eating the breakfast. Quan was down there eating the breakfast. Posha was getting on her way to get to the breakfast. So I get a message. Hey, they pushed your time up. So I'm like, what? All right. So then I tell them we rushed out of the joint. So when we rushed out, we hurry up and got to the convention center. I grab all my stuff out of the trunk, go in to get ready to set up. We didn't even know what room we was in. So then once we found out what room we was in, come to find out, Crystal had not even gone before us. Then we didn't have a table. So we had to go find a table, get the table. Then I had to start trying to set up while Crystal was still was doing her segment. And then through all of that, I realized, oh shoot, I left this microphone right here. I left it in the car. So that was a problem. Then one of my cameras, my HDMI didn't fit one of the cameras. So I didn't get a chance to set that up. Then on my other camera, in the last minute, when we were about to go live, I realized that the piece from my bottom camera from my tripod was on the other camera. So I couldn't set that up on my other tripod. So that's all the stuff that ended up happening. And then I wanted to run my sound on my board through the house, and I couldn't do that because they had an XLR in and they didn't have a 1/4 inch in. So it was just a whole bunch of stuff that just happened. So I just like, man, we just need to go ahead and go, because once Crystal finished, we wanted to make sure that the room was still kind of full, and I didn't want to try to hurry up and try to set everything up and then people started tipping out. So that's what happened. So literally I would have turned the camera around, but we were coming from my computer, so I had to see everything that was going on screen too. So yeah, that's what happened.
I want to say I want to see the crowd. Like, it was a great show, man. It was almost like, dang, like I felt like y'all were like the Breakfast Club and like Essence Fest, something like that, live on location. Like I need to do that more often, man. That's pretty cool to see y'all out there, y'all superstars, and people actually watching the forever. People actually watch the show. You know what I'm saying? And that gave me some kind of ideas, because I said, better if you did a reaction, somebody probably ask you a reaction question or something like that to get a chance to see the person. So yeah, man, that's my time though. I might see you tomorrow, Portia. So yeah.
When you coming down?
I'm here. I'm coming to talk to Sean today. I'm coming to Norfolk in the morning, checking my hotel and stuff out there. So I'm out here for the weekend.
You coming to practice and stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop at Hampton first. Look at the football team, do some stuff. So yeah, I'm in the area. I'm around. Thanks.
Going across that water. Ugh.
Okay.
Oh. All right, y'all, man.
See you.
All right, bro. Go. All right, man. This has been a great episode. Great to be back. Well, I mean, technically, we never really left because we did a live show on Saturday. But it's great to be back in front of the camera. Back with you guys again. I mean, I guess at this point, I know that we kind of talked about it this past weekend, but I do want to just go ahead and make it known so nobody does ask. I do want to say this, that Maya has left the building. She is no longer a part of the show. She made the decision that she wanted to step away, and that's perfectly fine. But we wish her well, and we send her all of our well wishes. As a matter of fact, when we got to Atlanta, I contacted her just to make sure she was good and see how she was doing. But yeah, so there it is. So the only piece of Maya that we have left is this.
I agree.
And I'm gonna keep that. I ain't changing that. But yeah, so I just wanted to make that, put that out there and make that known, just in case somebody asks, hey man, where Maya been? So that's what it is. But either way, man, it was great to be back today. And yes, there are some conversations that are happening behind closed doors about some more live appearances and things like that. So we will keep you guys abreast of that. And next time when it happens, I will make sure that things will go a little bit better visually than what it did last time. But no, I'm super excited at what we were able to accomplish at the HBCU Band Directors Consortium. That's it, right? Consortium. I do want to say shout out to Shuni. She is so freaking awesome. Shout out to Jamie. And shout out to, and I got to put it out there, my wife, who handles all of my business and all of the business of the Passioneers Network. She was the one who was doing all the great communicating and talking to people and making sure that our hotel and stuff was taken care of. So shout out to all of those people who make this thing run. You guys are all amazing. I appreciate you guys.
Shout out to Dr. John Smith.
Yes, shout out to Dr. John Smith. He, first of all, that's really his name, but
yes,
yo, hey, without him, that weekend, that weekend would have been
a disaster.
Yeah, it may have been a completely different weekend. So shout out to Dr. John Smith. That is really his name. That is not something from Pocahontas, and or if you had that old school call ID, the little white one, and they used to have a little fake little name on there and it said John Smith. No, it's real person. So shout out to Dr. John Smith. He definitely
held us down.
Yeah, definitely. So man, let's get ready to get out of here. So Portia, any final thoughts, anything you got for the culture?
Now he's Uncle John now. I'm done. No, I just had such a good experience with y'all. I can't wait to do another live. That was really dope. I was nervous at first, but I think it worked out. And I'm looking forward to doing more of that in the future. It was really a dope experience.
Absolutely. Quan, any final thoughts, anything you got for the culture?
Oh, I just want to I'll show it to my kids later, but I want to thank my kids for keep pushing. Honestly, we made history. This is the first time, like I said, in over 10 years that we've been adjudicated at the state level, straight twos and on the stage for our pieces, as well as sight reading. The best is yet to come. I love y'all, and let's keep pushing for greatness.
The best is yet to come. All right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man. Definitely 100%. We've had our conversation, bro. So we don't even have to spend all day getting all teary-eyed about that. But this past weekend definitely was something I'm cherishing and I'm holding tight to it. But it's not the end. It's not over. We're definitely going to be on a lot more panels in a lot of different ways. So I'm looking forward to it. And yes, Portia, just like you, I was a little nervous when we started off. You know what I'm saying? But for many reasons.
Some of them people in that room, I was like, "What child?"
It was some big wigs in there, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know how they gonna take it." But
they say come sit at our table. We like y'all.
No, but what's funny is when we almost said blow that hoe.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, we can't say that."
We can't say it. We can't. It was something, but you know what? And here's the thing. And I'm gonna be very honest with you. As we continue to move forward into these things, we can't go around saying that we're gonna be unfiltered and unscripted, blah blah blah. But then we kind of teeter-tottering. I'm just gonna be honest, because I know that there are gonna be some situations where we're gonna be around some kids who may be in our age range, maybe younger than us, maybe still and they want to be able to relate to some of the things that we're saying, and sometimes relate to the lingo that we use. And that doesn't necessarily mean we got to go on a cussing spree, but that does mean that we got to be relatable. And that was one of the reasons why I
say blow that hoe.
Right. So that was one of the reasons why I created the show in the first place. But man, this has been super dope. Brother Moore, man, good to see you. If you didn't see it, man, it's the last episode that we had. It wasn't on a Wednesday, it was on a Saturday. But other than that, man, we got nothing else, man. This has been a super dope episode. I already know what's gonna happen as soon as I put that picture up, because we talked about this last week. As soon as I put that picture up, Portia clicking off real quick. She don't even be waiting on it. But yep. Showing them braids, baby. But other than that, man, this has been super dope, man. You guys have been great, man. If you're watching this on playback, you can go ahead and click that like button. Also, please make sure you click the like button on the way out. Remember, you can subscribe to the Passionates Network and turn on your notifications, man. Other than that, we will see you guys on next week.
Peace.